straightaway at the Brickyard. Now he's actually going to go to victory lane at the Brickyard. J.W. Miller wins.
It is a race that a lot of people have talked about for over a season or two. It's a race that a lot of people thought maybe would never get to. It's one that will go down in the history books tonight. 8 seasons long, and after multiple winners, multiple champions, the same crew come back to the Michigan Speedway for an 8th season. But that's not the big thing here tonight. Tonight, it's the number 100. It's the amount of points that Wilt Chamberlain once scored in a basketball game. It's a number that you don't see many times when it comes to big things. It's a number that maybe NASCAR drivers, IndyCar drivers, that kind of elite group of people accomplish. However, on iRacing, you don't see many leagues make it to 100. And what I mean by that is races in a league history. Tonight is race number 100 of the Great Lakes Sim Racing Truck Series, also known as the Black Horizon Truck Series, as we welcome you in to the home track of the series, the Michigan International Speedway. It's the final race of the regular season and also the 100th race, the Prehistoric Force 200, presented by Union. I am the captain, Chris Scala, pleased to be with you for not only this race, but all 100 races been broadcasted here on the Captain Esports Network. Of course, we're presented by the Black Horizon Brewery. We appreciate them being here tonight. But 2-mile track, 18 degrees of banking, 78 degrees, 63% humidity under partly cloudy skies, and 6-mile-an-hour winds. We get ready to rock and roll here this evening. Let's take a look at the point standings as we get into this race. It's going to be pretty big tonight because we're going to look right down here where Luke Daniels is and all of these points that are on the line tonight. Matt Telder, 2 points out right now. Put it like this. There's an incident out there that Telder actually lost 14 points in. That could play a role in him making the playoffs tonight. Ben Pierce, 10 points out. Brandon Alphin is, 21 points out. Stephen Miles, only 42 points out. There's so many people right here within. And there's people up top here that could easily fall out with issues. So much to talk about in this race. The pressure is on here at the Michigan International Speedway. Cars are gridding right now as we get ready for this race. Remember last season, it was a tandem race, basically, if you will, with one particular team outsmarting the whole entire field and pushing a driver into the playoffs. That driver, ironically, is on the pole this afternoon. Justin Bondurant in the 11 truck, 39.807 second lap. He'll start next to Sam Fontaine. Sean Peachin could be an underdog tonight. We'll see as he starts next to Jason Dalton. Brandon Alphin and Lucas Strayer, they'll start there at row number 3. Row 4, Ben Pierce, Luke Knupp, they will start there. And row number 5, Ricky Springer and Drift, there in the 10th position. Matt Telder, home track, looking to get his first career win. He'll start next to Blaine Sparling, who's also looking for his first career win. Brian Sutphin, Christopher Dean, row number 7. Row number 8, Caden Atkins and Robert Lukens. Alex Bryson, Luke Daniels, he'll take row number 9 with Bryce McCune and Dalton Wilson in row 10. Will Martin and Cam Ingram, row number 11. Jeremy Frere and Tim Abril, they'll have row number 12. Row 13, Sam Barnes, Tyler Brewer, Alex Cummings, Jacob Black returns tonight to start there. Drayton Cook, Dan Cruz, and Stephen Miles starts in the back this evening. So 31 trucks here to go racing. They'll go out and run 2 laps at least here for the green flag. But, you know, obviously a lot of monumental things going on tonight. You see already as we look at some of the trucks that you're witnessing coming out on track. How about Bondurant? You see the gold 11 numbers there on the right and left side. How about Sam Fontaine right there running a mixture of all 8 seasons Black Horizon paint schemes in one. This is one hell of a mix right there. Sean Peachin running an all gold truck right there. Let's actually get you a better view of these trucks. There's Sean Peachin's gold number 1. Maybe he'll be saying Eureka, gold at last in Victory Lane this evening. How about this one? Ben Pierce sporting the Jeremy Mayfield paint. That's a cap off to the 2004 Richmond race in which Mayfield knocked out Casey Kane to go to the playoffs that season with a win that season. You saw the side of Lucas Strayer's truck right there. Happy 100th to GLSR there on that truck. Amongst other paint schemes. Drift, some reason, I don't know what I did to deserve that. He put the captain paint scheme on there. But we'll check out other trucks here throughout this afternoon and this evening's race here. 100 races. You know, it was asked today in Discord, and I had to think about it. I was like, man, what's like 3 or 4 moments that I could say is the top moments? But the pace car is going to come in. We'll talk about that here throughout the night. 100 laps and 200 miles. Going to make the Prehistoric Forest 200. It's the only track that has hosted a race all season. Every season in GLSR. The 100th race is green for Michigan. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online or on Facebook. They're in the iRacing forums, and they, of course, are at TrackCams22.com. So we watch this draft. It's going to play a big role here this evening. For the most part, you're wide open for a little bit here, and then the tires will start to fall off. As we come off turn 4, the draft of Justin Bondurant looks like we'll lead lap number 1 with Fontaine pushing. And yeah, I decided to do a little gold myself. So Bondurant leading that line of trucks side by side for third as Peachin holds off Dalton there, as I talked about him for a second. Back here 3 wide with Springer. Got Drift and Brian Sutphin, who I learned this week likes to fly. Actual pilot. 7th, 8th, 9th positions there. Matt Telder may be looking 3 wide here with Springer on the inside. Alphin there on that top side. Alphin needs a lot of help tonight if he wants to get into these playoffs. A lot of drivers fighting for a lot of positions. Of course, we talk about 100 races. One of the big moments ever in this league's history came at this track in the first visit. Season 1. At the time, Keith Calhoun, we know him as William Calhoun, leading this race to the final lap. And here comes this young kid named Anthony Marshall, who earlier that season lost someone in his family to an illness, I believe. Makes a pass on the last lap and to win his one and only start so far, or not one and only start, but his one and only race in this series history. That night, Series 1, still argued to this date as the biggest upset in series history, my opinion. And nobody's going to forget what happened last season when Bondurant and Alex Cummings went straight tandem mode and literally drove away from the field and went to victory lane. pushing Bondurant into the playoffs. Sean Peachin up to second. Sam Fontaine up to third. Lucas Strayer, and there's Brandon Alfin up to fifth almost as he's outside of Telder, who's already up to sixth. A lot of movers. Bryce McCune up 10 spots to the 9th spot already. We ride with Bryce, the 95 truck. Of course, we'll have visits from Kevin Davis here throughout the race also. We'll talk a little bit to him. I hope he's not too busy tonight, but we'll see. We've had a lot of conversation and a lot of talks this week about some of the racing that's been going on, and I've actually included myself in the conversations as Dean almost threw himself to the wall there off turn 4. But needless to say, so far here, so good. 6 laps in, everybody's, yeah, they're racing, but they're giving room, it looks like, right now. There's, again, championship implications everywhere tonight. Kevin just hit her on the racket up front. Sam Fontaine, Lucas Strayer. Rain on cue. Look out, Alfin just got clobbered. That just took out a lot of championship potential trucks and playoff trucks, potentially. As I was getting a little drive-by from Kevin Davis, I didn't have his mic on. He was talking while you guys couldn't hear him. But we'll check in with him here in a second. Where did this go wrong? Oh, no. Telder and Fontaine get together. And a mess. And once again, it looks like netcode's going to play a role in this. I mean, this is, unfortunately, I just made comments about some of the stuff that's been talked about in Discord, and this happens. So that's frustrating to see for a lot. I feel terrible for a lot of these drivers that literally just watched their playoff chances go bye-bye on lap 7. Let's watch this again here so I can see who all potentially gets involved. Yeah, there's a little frustration in my voice right now because of this. Telder goes up here, tries to side draft Fontaine. And Michigan, I've said this so many times. This track is very notorious, and it's like a lot of other tracks, that people will enter the corner early, and the other truck will not enter the corner so early. And here we go again, and this was a huge topic last week. Right there, it happens, and there's netcode. See, Strayer, Alfin, Ben Pierce puts himself in the wall. Jason Dalton into the wall. And Alfin's going to get clobbered by somebody at the bottom of the track. Boom. That is Alex Cummings. Let's go on board with... I think you meant April. Is that, I guess, what he's saying? So let's go on board April here. Wow, nice miss by Tim. That was close. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Caution is out. Lap number 10. Bonner and Peach and Telder, Springer and McCune. Going to bring them back here to the top 5, or to the green flag. And hopefully you got your fantasy lineups done, by the way, over at GreatLakesSimRacing.com. Not, of course, you'll have your chance next week at the Iowa Speedway. We'll kick off the playoffs there on the schedule. As we go back racing. Everybody fans out 2-3 wide. Bondurant still trying to hold on to the top there. Peach side by side with McCune, who's up there. Ricky Springer also in this battle. Want to mention real quickly the fantasy prize on the line, of course, is the butt kicker that you can win. All you got to do is get yourself the top scoring team each week, and you get yourself into a drawing, and you can win yourself that butt kicker. So make sure you go get signed up and go and get a team put together. Springer takes the leaders 3 wide.
Yeah, it's going to be a mixed field of racers here tonight. Some of these guys going for the extra bonus points of leading a lap, plus some that are either secured in the playoffs or no longer chance in the playoffs, just going for a W.
And, of course, a lot of people, unfortunately, just taking out in that deal. So I'm not sure. I have to look at where the playoffs are because...
Yeah, that's definitely a big mix-up, and it'd probably take us half the race trying to do all the math of what just happened right there in just one lap so early in the race.
Yeah. Unfortunate deal there. Unfortunately, net code strikes again, like every week. As caution's back out. I have no clue where it's at. Looks like Tim Abrol's gone around over in turn 3 and in the wall hard. Let's see what happens to Tim. Looks like maybe a black screen issue. Yeah, he's sitting up there on the track, so his screen must have went black or something, but he obviously blew the motor on his truck, so he's going to be done, unfortunately, for tonight. Tough break there for Tim. He finally gets a hold of his truck again. Basically, when you see a truck go straight like this, there's something wrong. And it's not a blown tire. It looks like a blown tire. But basically, the screen went black. He had no clue where he was, probably on track. So caution out for a second time, and another driver affected. All right, so let's show the points real quickly here to everybody again. And let's start crossing people off this list of who all is out now. So, Jason Dalton, 6th in points right now. He is up by 50 points on Luke Daniels. There's a chance Jason Dalton, who right now is behind the wall in 29th, there's a chance he falls out of the playoffs. So, Ben Pierce is behind the wall. He's out. Brandon Alphin, behind the wall. He's out. So your other people that can get in now, so that leaves Telder, who's right on the edge. And then you got Miles, who's 40 points back. And then you got Sutphin, who's about 40 points back, that have legit chances here if they can get a good finish. Sean Peachin, I mean, if he goes and wins this thing tonight, he could get himself in with what has happened right here already in the middle spot of these drivers. So there's a lot on the line here when it's all said and done. So, but caution out for the second time. We did see some trucks come to pit road, I believe, here. Just getting caught up on the screen. Looks like Dane Cruz, Stephen Miles, among others that have come to pit road here. Everybody who's involved in that first accident is still off the track right now, so and as that was going on, Springer did officially take the lead in this race. So he'll lead him to the green flag here. Bondurant, Peachin, McCune, and Telder now your top 5. Bryce McCune up 15 spots already in this race. Luke Daniels up 9 as he comes to the green flag. Stephen Miles up 9 down here. Plus 16 for Drayton Cook. Plus 13 for Tyler Brewer. Plus 13 for Jacob Black. So a lot of guys starting to work their way up through the field, especially with the accidents that have happened so far in this race. As we come back to the green, lap number 17. As the green flag comes out. As Canup down on the apron gets a little loose below Telder. Bondurant going to clear for the lead, and Peachin and McCune almost get together there. So what you're seeing basically is where this bottom lane is actually lesser banked than the middle part of the track. And because of that, it causes that inside truck to drift up a little bit. And you got to be careful, and that's where it makes it very hard to pass here, because that outside line eventually becomes the way to go because you just get that train of trucks going. Bondurant is going to clear right here, though. It looks like he's going to have to get up the track because the momentum's coming. Kind of protecting the middle right now and giving the top side to Ricky. One thing, obviously, that they don't have to worry about is this fuel mileage, which I say it would grow. There's some contact between Sutphin and Peachin. I say that with a grain of salt because you could put an electric car race here at Michigan and somehow it becomes a fuel mileage event. I don't know how that happens, but it does. So fuel's going to be on the line here later on, but they don't have to worry about the whole 65% or whatever it was. I forget what it was last year, but don't have to worry about that anymore. It's 100% fuel which means more than likely only a 2-stop race. Ben Pierce back on the track, and he is some 8 laps down in that number 18 truck. There you see Jason Dalton returning to the track, trying to salvage his playoff run here. As Springer clears to the lead with Bryce McCune, the Michigan-born driver, up to second. Bonder and Sutphin and Telder. Martin back here to 00. Blaine Sparling. There's Robert Lukens into 33. This is back around the 15th position here. There's Luke Daniels. Luke's been on the prowl throughout this evening here in that 28 truck. Tyler Brewer up there in the 40. Drayton Cook there behind him in the 8 truck. As we're 1/5 of the way in this race already. One fact that you should know, this is the 8th race at this track's history. As I said earlier, it's the only track that has been on the schedule every single season. There has never been a repeat winner at this track. Every time we've come, 7 races, 7 different winners. We ride on board with Sean Peach in the gold truck. Climbing, I should say, up top here. Got a chance to get around Telder. Tried to shut the door there for a second, but gives him the room. Oh, and there's contact. Telder and a Peachin'. I'm going to watch this really closely now. Caden Atkins and Luke Knupp going to slide by. Here comes Bryson. Everybody looks like clean and green here. I was looking to see how Sean might react to that. Yeah, looks like everybody just continues on here. Springer and Bondurant start to pull away here. Here comes Drift into the picture now. You see Telder with that right side damage. Wonder how much that's affecting the truck as they go around the lap truck of Dalton. Up and drift up there. As you see, Bondurant and Springer, they're trying to do kind of what Alex Cummings and Bondurant did last season, and they're going to try to push each other away. And while these guys continue to battle here, this will happen, basically. Because when you look back here at Bryce McCune, he's out here by himself. He might have a chance. Everybody's getting single file now. I say that as Caden Atkins drops to the bottom on Sutphin here. "28 laps in. These trucks can get all the way to lap 40 on a tank of fuel. Oh. So easily for a lot of these trucks, it is a two-stop strategy. Sam Barnes, Robert Lukens, Drayton Cook. Oh, Lukens leaning there on Cook a little bit there. They gave each other a little more room. See the 38, Alex Bryson there behind them. Poor Sammy B right here and Telder, who's starting to fall back now. That right side damage really affecting his truck. Oh, almost some contact with the 40 and 38 back here. Ben Pierce topside there. Not sure if he's up to speed or not, but I know he is a few laps down. As William Martin gets up there and clobbers the outside wall, turn 2. And here comes McCune inside his Springer.
I believe I just heard Daniels queuing up for a pit stop here, letting everybody know not to run over him as he's entering the pits here out of 4.
That would be interesting to pit this time at lap number 30. This would still make it a one-stop race. He's just going to have to make it, well, I guess you'd make it 30 laps. So 30, 30, 40 would be his strategy, I'm guessing here then. So 28 is in for 4 tires and fuel. I mean, technically, I think 41 is like the longest you can go. At least that's what I always remember. 42 if you save a little bit, but that's not worth it. As Daniels pulls away 15.1 for the 40 Raceware truck. Problem is he's got no one to draft with, so he's going to hook. Hopefully he can hook onto somebody here as he leaves pit road.
McCune and
Sutphin into the wall with Bryce McCune. Everybody scatters a little bit.
Man, unfortunate. McCune's got a lot of right side damage. That's definitely going to slow him down this race.
The hometown driver there from this area, Michigan. Does a lot of racing at Berlin. And now, unfortunately, he's a little bit of a roadblock. You know, it's interesting. I see this stuff happening out here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. I've talked to a lot of drivers this week that said that this has become more of a survival than racing, which is an interesting comment to hear. The 33 laps in this race. At a short track, I understand those comments, but at a big track like this or a mile and a half or something, that's kind of scary things to hear. But either way, it is the way it is right now. So 34 laps complete as Drift is on pit road. That's probably a scheduled pit stop for him. And Knupp to the outside of Springer is going to sweep around him. Good pass there. 29 looking pretty sporty here.
Yeah, it looks like McCoon went down pit road as well, and I believe he's just going to retire possibly from this event. I don't believe he went for damage.
Caution, we got trouble on the track. And I think it's for a spin from somebody. Oh, right up here, it's Sam Barnes. The 22 has gone around turn 4. And brings the caution out for a third time. And now I'm starting to wonder if minions are driving that car. As he tows it back. Oh, he gets help from Black, it looks like. Look at this, 3, 4 wide, almost into the corner. And Tyler Brewer's going to get a piece of it.